the around the block electric beach cruiser bike. You got to see it. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry. And today I'm gonna show you the around the block electric beach cruiser bike. Now, before I get into it, hit that subscribe button below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we're doing, and of course, new product releases. All right, right here, I've got the around the block beach cruiser. It's a 500 watt electric beach cruiser. If you want more information about it, link in the description below, and you can check out the full specs and where to purchase. Now, this is a really cool electric bike because of how classically styled it is. If you want to come in for a closer shot here, I'm going to show you the details of these. Now, I've got a bunch of the colors out here. We've got two different styles or frames. We call one of them a men's. It's also the higher top tube style or the women's with the lower style. And we've got our matte black here, our steel cloud, our teal, our mint green, and our lilac right here as well. Now, you can see we've got the offset colored rims, the black rims on a couple of them. We've got the cream rims on the steel cloud, and then also the rear racks colorways as well. So a really fun styled cruiser, which is really the spirit of beach cruiser bikes. Now, don't let that make you think though that this is not powerful enough. So it's a 500 watt e-bike. It's a rear hub motor. So the motor's in the rear here. We've got the front and rear disc brakes as well. So you're gonna be able to achieve top speeds of up to 20 miles an hour in full throttle and about 22 miles an hour in pedal assist. And you've got a 10.4 amp hour battery on the rear here as well, and that can take you up to a range of 50 miles per ride, depending on how you use the pedal assist and the throttle. Now, if you come in closer here, I'll show you, you've got a thumb throttle here on your left hand. You can actually press this and the bike will go without pedaling at all. And you also have pedal assist. So two options and ways to use the electric, either full electric by pushing the thumb throttle, or when you pedal, it will give you assistance. Now, as I power this on here as well, you're going to notice that this is my level of assist right here, and this is my miles per hour. So I've got it in level 1, and we can put this up to level 5, and then this is your miles per hour. Now, these are your levels for the pedal assist, and it's easy to change with your thumb here while you're riding. Now, if you walk through here as well, you can see all the different colors. And again, it's something fun and different compared to other electric bikes that are out there. Now, the other cool thing is the riding position. So I'll go ahead and just step on this one right here, a little cramped in here with all the bikes lined up. Now, when you're mounted on the around the block, your back's gonna be upright, your arms are nice and relaxed, and you just have that nice cruiser position, you know, that classic style. Really comfortable, really easy to ride. Everything's also fully adjustable up here, so you can tilt and raise and lower the handlebars. You can also raise and lower the seat to accommodate your body, and that can be easily done at home by you with a simple tool on the handlebars. Now, the seat can come up and down with the quick release, so very easy to find the position that's right for you. The other thing too that I don't have here, but we've got bags and accessories that match a lot of these bikes. Also black and brown that can go with everything. Also want to point out here on the rear is the battery. And I'll show you. So the battery's easily removable out the rear here. So you can slide the battery out. And the keyhole's on this side over here. So this is your key to lock the battery on and off. And this is your charging port right here. And you just plug it into your wall at home. Takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge it all the way. And so if you want to bring the battery inside to charge or leave it on, again, it's easily removable, or you can lock it onto the bike if you park it somewhere so nobody takes it. All right, what else can I show you here? Like I said, the disc brakes, good for stopping and start, or good for stopping. The other thing I want to show you is up here on the handlebars. If you come over to this bike, now these are 7 speeds. Take our clear plastic off here to show you better. All right, so we actually have a 7-speed derailleur. Now this is just like on a regular bike. So this is a good e-bike if you also like to pedal without the motor, or if you're gonna run the assistance in a lower level, like a 1 or a 2, you have 7 gears here that can be shifted. Now, again, you have the assistance you get from the motor, which is independent of the gears. The gears are actually part of just the normal bike. However, with that said, it's good to have the 7 speeds so you can match the cadence of your pedaling with the assistance you're getting from the motor. Now, this will come in real handy if you're doing a lot of hills and you want to shift it to a lower gear. Or if you want to go faster on flat ground, it's nice to have that range and shift up to 7 speeds. And you shift simply just by twisting right here. So the gears of the bike are shifted with your right hand twisting, and your left thumb, you control the assistance level for the motor and also the throttle with your thumb here. So really fun, cool electric beach cruiser with tons of different colors. We've also got other videos on our YouTube channel of us taking rides if you want to check it out and see how it performs on the open road. And if you have any other additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877, or comment below. In addition to that, you're going to find the Around the Block linked in the description below. Also, we have a 30-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love it in the first 30 days, send it back. No questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we're going to warranty everything for 1 year. Anything goes wrong in the first year, we will take care of it, parts and labor. And lastly, be a part of our community, our Facebook group, and download our app. 2 great places to connect with our community, especially in advance of purchasing. You can ask members of the Facebook group how their experience has been with their e-bike, so you can get comfortable purchasing. Then when you have yours, post in the group and make friends, and track your rides on the app and compete on the leaderboard. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630, and today I'm gonna talk to you about the benefit of upgrading your standard Around the Block women's to our electric Around the Block women's. Stay tuned. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of upgrading your women's Around the Block to our electric women's Around the Block. But before I do, hit that subscribe button below, stay in touch with us here at 630, and be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, new products, and of course, the weekly, monthly contests we're doing for giveaways of accessories, bikes, and e-bikes. All right, so behind me, I have our standard women's Around the Block and our electric women's Around the Block. This is the 500 watt. The color schemes are some of our newer colors, but these are the same bikes, just different colors. So let me talk to you about the benefit of upgrading to the electric bike version. Now, I love our standard bikes and I think they're great, and everything of course has a place and a reason and a best case for use. And if you're curious about that, you can take our body fit quiz actually, and that will recommend the perfect style and type of bike for you. But I believe there's a huge benefit to upgrading to an electric bike version. Let me run you through why. So, number 1, there's nothing the electric bike can't do that the standard bike can do. What I mean by that, the electric Around the Block comes with 3 capabilities. 1, ride it like a standard bike. 2, ride it with the electrical pedal assist to assist you while you pedal. Or 3, use the full throttle and let the bike do all the work completely. Now, on the standard version, obviously you're only riding this as a standard bike. There's no electrical component to it. However, if you don't want electrical, that's fine. What you do is you reduce the weight of the bike a little bit by not having the motor and the battery. But I want to speak to that as well. I just weighed everything off camera, and the standard version weighs 34 pounds, Now this is without the 7-speed or handbrake version. That would be 37 pounds if we were to add that in. This bike weighs 59.5 pounds. So the differential in the weight would be, drum roll, 37, 59, 22.5 pounds difference. Now, seems like maybe that's a lot, but I will say this. When you ride this bike on flat ground, you're not going to notice the weight differential that much between the standard bike. Now, over time, it may tire your legs out a little bit more. And of course, riding up hills, it's going to be harder to tow a heavier bike. However, you will have the electric assist that you can use to get up the hills if you so choose. But if you're really wanting to use this as a regular bike, there's an easy solution. You can also take the battery out. Now, this weighs 8.5 pounds. So by removing this, you've now reduced the weight of this bike from 59.5 pounds down to 51 pounds. Having a minor, gotta get this in here. Okay. So now we're at 51 pounds. So now we're at a 14-pound differential between the two of these. Couple reasons why. One, it's got a little bit beefier rear rack to hold the battery. Two, it has disc brakes, which are going to weigh a little bit more than the standard brakes. And also we have the motor in the rear of the hub, which is approximately 10 pounds. So because of where the weight is located and you're riding this as a regular bike, again, like I said, you're not going to notice the difference. So if you're going to do, riding around town and you have the electrical assist, it's a huge benefit. Ride it like a bike if you want, use the motor as you want, take the battery out, reduce the weight, put it back in, use it electrical. The possibilities are endless, and it just gives you so much more opportunity. Now, the other benefit, go farther and go farther faster. So let's say that you're on your standard around the block and you usually ride 10 miles and you don't want to go any farther than that because you're scared of how exhausted you may be. And so you don't want to, in fear of being too tired to get home, you just always stop at 10 miles. The benefit of the electric bike version is you can ride as far as you want without the electricity. And then if you become tired, use the electricity to get home. That's something I like to do. I'll take my bike out for a 10-mile ride. I won't use the electricity at all. And then when I'm coming home, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to kick in a little bit of electricity. Or push yourself farther than you've ever been. Ride 15 miles with no electricity and then use the electricity to get home. It gives you that peace of mind that you won't feel stranded, or you don't have to be worried about how far have I ridden and can I get home. So the e-bike version can actually allow yourself to push your body even more. It's essentially like you have a driver to take you home in theory, right? You can push yourself that much more knowing this bike can get you home if you wanted to. If not, by all means, keep riding it like a normal bike, or use full electricity and push yourself even farther. Go 30, 40 miles. Let the pedal assist help you go the whole way. It's really up to you. The other benefit is the kind of topography you can take on. So if there's certain routes you've stayed away from or places that you've wanted to go but you haven't because of the incline of the hills, or certain terrains that maybe you're not comfortable riding on because you don't have enough leg power, boom, add in the electricity, and now those hills that you thought you couldn't tackle, you can tackle. So it's going to open up the possibility of where you can take your bike, where you can ride your bike, go new places that maybe you couldn't go on your standard bike. By all means, if you can tackle the routes that you want on your standard bike, then that's good for you, but you may be able to consider new possibilities. In addition to that, this bike now becomes a full-on mode of transportation. Not to say that a bike isn't, but the ability to get places farther and faster. So let's say you didn't want to ride to school, or you don't want to ride to the store because it's 2 miles, and 2 miles on a bike takes you 10 minutes. Now on an e-bike, it might take you 5 minutes. So knowing how much shorter that ride can take using the electrical assist might convince you to sway in that direction of using the bike instead of using a car. So if you already use your bike to commute, again, that's great. But if you don't, and you don't want to because you think you'll get there too slow, an e-bike becomes something where it's like a real mode of transportation and you can get places quick. In fact, on an e-bike, you may be able to get to locations, stores, school, other places faster because of the routes you can take on an e-bike versus an actual car. Now, that ties into hand in hand is going faster. So you'll just be able to generally cover more ground quicker. Um, you know, whether or not you want to do that is totally up to you. In addition to that, you're going to be able to carry more weight. So with this e-bike and the power of the motor, you could put pannier bags back here. You could put a basket on the front. And so picking up groceries at the store becomes more practical. On a standard bike, let's say that you don't want to lug back 50 pounds or 30 pounds or whatever it may be, or even a child trailer. As an example, I hook my children up to my electric bike in the trailer, and it's great because I can ride to the park up some minor hills that maybe I wouldn't feel comfortable on the standard bike version. So the ability to tow weight, bring weight with you, carry groceries, do things like that is another huge benefit of the electric bike version versus the standard bike version. Outside of that, you can see too, the frames are very identical. If you love your standard bike, you're going to love the electric bike. The sitting position, the ergonomics, all of it's the same. The electric version feels identical to the around the block, except now you've added the motor and you've added the power and the speed that you get from it. The last thing I'll say too is you get the disc brakes, which are essential when you have an e-bike. You're going to have great stopping power, make stopping very easy. The caliper brakes are great for the standard bike, but on the electric bike, the caliper brakes are a must. So I think that summarizes the benefits of an e-bike. It's really go farther, go faster, do more, and push your body more are the top 4 things I would say. If you have any thoughts or questions about why you should upgrade, or you're considering upgrading your around the block, comment below. We're happy to answer, or email us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. And don't forget, I mentioned it before, take our body fit quiz on the website. Our proprietary fitting tool will ask you a few questions about your body and your life, and it'll recommend the perfect bike for you and your circumstances. And don't forget, we have a 90-day test ride your e-bike policy. If you don't love it within 90 days, you can send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. So if you have the standard electric bike and you've been on the fence about upgrading, just remember 90 days, you can test it out and you don't love it, we'll take it back, no expense out of your pocket. And if you aren't already, join our Facebook Peddlers group, be a part of the community, talk to other electric bike riders that already have the Around the Block women's electric version, ask them questions, see how they like it and get a feel for it. And of course, post your photos once you have one in that Peddlers group. And lastly, download the 630 app and be a part of the community there. Track your rides, compete on the leaderboard, see how others are riding their bikes. You can see how many miles people are logging on electric bikes. In addition, we have a company-wide goal in our People Pedaling mission goal to ride 150,000 miles. We're tracking it on the app, so any mile logged on there counts towards our goals. And if we hit our milestones, we're donating bikes to get more people pedaling. So we'd love to have you be a part of it. Come and join us. Alrighty. Thanks for sticking around. And don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630. And today I'm going to be comparing the Around the Block women's electric bike to the regular standard women's Around the Block and show you the differences, talk about the benefits of the electric versus the standard. So stick around. All right, so today we're going to be comparing the women's Around the Block electric 500 watt to the standard Around the Block non-electric. But before we jump in, hit that subscribe button below, stay in touch with us here at 630, and be in the know about all the new content, new products, and of course, the weekly, monthly giveaways we're doing here at 630 for accessories, bikes, and even e-bikes. So hit subscribe. Okay, so behind me here, I have our women's Around the Block bicycle in the standard and also the electric. Now, one thing I will say about this bike right here is this is a single speed version and the electric bike has a 7-speed version. So I'm going to talk generally about these two models. Some things may be a little bit different if you're talking about the version with the 7-speed versus the single speed. But I will also talk to you about what's the benefit of one versus the other, why would you choose electric, and things like that. So first thing I want to start with is the weight differential. So I actually have a scale out here right now. I'm going to just go ahead and weigh these for you so you can see. Now, I'm going to hop on and hit the tare button. Okay. And now I'm going to hop on with the standard version of the electric bike. And this bike weighs 34 pounds. Now, keep in mind, this is the single speed. So the 7-speed is going to have a larger derailleur. It's also going to have handbrakes. That's going to add approximately, let's say, about 3 to 5 pounds. Now, let me get on with the electric bike. Now, with the battery and everything on here, the electric bike weighs 59.5 pounds. And actually, we can also show you the battery. And because I did the tare, I'll just hop on with the battery. And the battery is 8.5 pounds, actually. So if you were to remove the battery from the electric bike, this would be 51.5 pounds. So the differential between the two, 34 pounds and 59.5 pounds, let's do the math there. That is 25.5 pound differential between the electric version and the standard version. Now, if you were to ride the electric bike without the battery, subtract that 8.5 pounds, now this is coming in at 51 pounds, so the difference is 17 pounds between these two bikes. Lastly, add the 7-speed derailleur and the handbrakes. You've now added, let's say, 4 pounds. Now you've increased the weight of this bike to 38 pounds. So the differential between these two bikes is 21.5 pounds with the battery on the back. If you remove the battery, now the differential becomes, let's do the math in our head here, 13.5 pounds. So you can see 13.5 pound differential if you take the battery off between the 7-speed version of the Around the Block. The reason why that's important is because you can ride the electric bike version not in electric mode. And if you wanted to ride it as a normal bike, you can take the battery off and have it function, and you're only adding 13.5 pounds. So it's really amazing how much the electric bike feels like a normal bike when you don't use the motor and you take the battery off. So if you think you are in the market for a bike and you may want an electric version, but you're concerned because you still want to ride it as an electric bike, the benefit of the electric bike is you can do both. In fact, there's 3 modes in the electric version. One is ride it like a normal bike, keep the motor off. 2, allow the pedal assist to do the work. Or 3, use the full throttle and let the bike do the work. So, clear benefit of the electric version is a couple things. 1, go farther, go faster. So, you can go many more miles if you have the pedal assist function, because when you get tired, you can count on the motor to kick in and assist you as you're riding. So if your normal ride is, say, 10 miles, you might be able to achieve 20, 30, 40 miles. Also, you can be more confident in riding this like a normal bike beyond your general limits, because even if you get tired, use the motor to take you home or assist you to take you home. I know it could be scary if you're thinking, I don't want to be exhausted and ride 20 miles and not be able to get home. The benefit of the electric bike version is really that you can go farther and you can cover more ground faster. With this electric version, the 500 watt, your top speeds are going to be 28 miles an hour with pedal assist and 20 miles an hour if you're using the full throttle and letting the bike completely do the work. Now, shifting back to the standard Around the Block, there's still some great benefit to the standard Around the Block. The first thing you need to think about, number one, is how frequently are you going to be riding? If the reality is that you're not a frequent rider and the investment of a bike, you know, $1,000 or more is not worth it to you, getting something simple, standard, that can be a go-to around town or with the family riding bike, the around the block standard version is perfect for that. It's going to be very lightweight, easy to manage, easy to hang up in the garage, um, easy to maintain, things like that. And then if you're just doing simple riding, short riding, I would say less than 5 miles, and you never think you want to push yourself, or you don't consider commuting, or even up to 10, you can do up to 10 miles on this bike, especially the 7-speed version. But if you know, you just don't think there's any need for you to get the benefit out of the electric, so to go beyond 10 miles or to really push yourself, or you don't think you'll ever need the electricity, the standard version is still a great option. It's just easier to get around with, meaning like bike racks, things like that, and also great for simple around town riding, where the benefit of the investment may not come back to you. So in addition to that, you can see the electric version comes with fenders, which also adds some weight to the bike. The e-bike version does has a much beefier rear rack to hold the battery. That's where some of the added weight also comes from. Also, the braking system, the disc brakes, even versus the hand brakes, are going to weigh a little bit more than the brakes, the caliper brakes that come on the bike. So something to think about there as well. So other than that, though, you can see by looking at these two bikes, obviously the color schemes are different. The frames are basically identical. So step over heights are the same. Riding position is the same. The feel of these bikes is actually totally the same. And from my experience, even riding these two bikes, you're not going to notice much difference riding the standard version versus riding the electric version without electricity, even with that added weight, especially on flat ground. Now, if you are going up and down hills, that added weight will bog you down, obviously. But if you're on flat ground, I would say it's hard pressed to feel the difference between the electric version or the standard version when you're riding it as a normal bike. Granted, over time and the longer you ride, of course, your body's going to have to work harder to, you know, carry the weight of a bike that weighs 26 pounds more. So something to think about is, if you think you really are never going to use the electric, then opting for the standard is the best bet. But I will say this, having the electric available for you opens up the possibilities so much more with your bike. You can use it more for commuting. It becomes a actual form of transportation where you can add added weight on the back, carry groceries, things like that. Not that you can't do that on a standard bike, but if that's something that maybe you shied away from doing because you didn't want to tow the weight or you were fearful about getting tired, now when you add the electricity in here, you can use that assistance or use the throttle. And again, once you add that electricity in, the bike becomes so much more than just a standard bike. It becomes a full bore mode of transportation, like I said. Now, comparing everything else, grips are the same, seat is the same, tires are the same. One thing I do notice is we do have a little bit, we have a 3-piece crank on the electric version versus the steel crank on the base model standard version. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference, honestly, in the pedaling because of the amount of torque that goes into the electric bike. We've done the 3-piece version because it has the sealed bearing, so it's going to ride a little smoother. And again, if you're going faster and torquing it more, that 3-piece crank is going to hold up more over time. In addition to that, you can see the rims are basically the same. Obviously, the rims on this one actually have the machined sidewall, and that's because on the e-bike we have the disc brakes, we don't have the caliper brakes. So on the standard versions we use the caliper brakes, and so we need to machine the side of the rim in order for those to grip. The benefit of the disc brakes, now again with the faster speeds, these disc brakes are going to provide much more stopping power, and when you're going at higher speeds, that's going to add another layer of safety. On the standard bike, with the top speeds you can hit on a cruiser like this, it's not really imperative to have disc brakes, and it's actually more braking power than is necessary for this type of bike. So lastly, comparing these two, the other thing you're really going to get out of the e-bike version is the sort of topography you can ride. Going up and down hills, maybe hills that you were scared of riding before, you can use the electricity and really traverse all sorts of hills. So if there's certain routes you shied away from before that maybe you didn't think you could power yourself to, now the electric bike can do that. So that's something to think about as well. Where are you going to ride your bike? And if there's a lot of hills on your ride and you're really scared, getting the electric bike version is a good option because it would probably motivate you to ride more, knowing you have the motor and have the assistance to help you get up the hills. The thing I'd hate to see happen to anyone is you buy this bike and you've got a couple hills on your favorite route and then you just give up because it's too much work. I've been there before. I used to do rides to the beach and there was a big hill to get up and down. It's like, I don't really want to ride my bike all the way down. So you see a lot of people in California actually opting for the electric bike so they can ride down to the beach and have the electricity get back up. And it's motivated me to get on the bike more. So that's a huge benefit of the electric bike, generally speaking. And then I think that pretty much covers the main comparisons between the e-bike and the standard bike. From there, I would say, honestly, if an electric bike is in your budget and you can afford it and you're getting into biking right now, opting to get a bike with the electricity expands your horizons so much more. But again, the choice is really up to you and what suits you best, your lifestyle, and what you want to do. And actually, last thing I'm going to say, I just thought of it in my head, is if you're looking to get a bike for weight loss, there's a myth out there that electric bikes, you can't lose weight on an electric bike, or that a standard bike is better for weight loss. I would actually argue the opposite, and here's why. An electric bike is really great for weight loss because it will allow you to push yourself harder knowing you have the electricity if you need it. Like I said before, you can go on longer rides, more frequent rides, and even if your legs are exhausted one day, you could put the pedal assist in level 1 and even 2, so the bike's barely assisting you, but it'll give you enough assistance to help you push through that particular day. So I think the benefit of the e-bike is you can almost use it as a training aid as you see fit. Now, of course, if you just start using the electricity full blast every time you ride, it's not going to aid in your weight loss. So if you feel like you would use it too much, then and you want to lose weight, stick to the standard bike. But if you can use the electric assist effectively, it can be a great tool to aid in the weight loss, push your body more physically, and just achieve more, generally speaking. So I hope the comparison of the standard around the block and the electric around the block is helpful. If you have any questions at all, please email us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877, or comment below. We always respond to the comments. And don't forget, take the body fit quiz on our website. We have a proprietary fitting algorithm. You'll answer a few questions about your body and your life, and our proprietary algorithm will recommend the perfect bike for your body and your life. And don't forget, we have a 365-day test ride your policy on regular bikes and a 90-day test ride your policy on e-bikes. If you don't love your bikes in either of those time periods, you can send it back, no questions asked, no money out of your pocket. In addition to that, we have a huge community on Facebook, the 630 Pedalers. You can go and join that group prior to purchasing and ask any questions you may have about either one of these bikes or any bike at all. See how others are riding their bikes. And after you become a member of the community, post your own photos, make friends. It's a lot of fun. And lastly, download our app and be a part of that community. Same thing. You can see how many miles other people are logging. You can track your own rides, compete on the leaderboard, and be a part of our 2022 People Pedaling Challenge. We're trying to ride 150,000 miles here at 630, and every mile you and all the other riders log goes towards our goals. And if we hit our milestones, we're giving away lots of bikes to help other people get riding. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride.